Vivici, a new startup created by DSM-Firmenich and Fonterra to disrupt the emerging animal-free dairy category, is already in a position to supply commercial quantities of whey protein from fermentation to the US market just a year after it was launched.
So in a nutshell, we will see protein demand double over the next couple of years. And we can support that growth by scaling the way that we make animal protein today. So we have a fundamental limitation. There is no future scenario in which we can keep doing what we're doing and get away with it, right? So we're focused on the demand for fermentation-derived whey. And if we assume that the number one reason to buy this product is to avoid the animals, we're actually missing out on some of the main drivers for consumers today. So what we see is that customers are looking for better nutrition than they can get from other proteins. They're looking for better functionality. And of course, they're looking for a greater sustainability footprint. So all of that together is what we see really drives the demand for fermented whey protein. So we make the pure beta-lactoglobulin, which is the most abundant protein in whey, and really possesses most of the nutritional and functional properties of whey. And what we see is that with that pure protein, we get functionality that you don't get with the full whey complex. There are some downsides, of course. We're missing, for example, some of the more lower abundant proteins like lactoferrin, but we see greater functionality with the pure beta-lactoglobulin in certain applications. And so one great example of that is the category of clear protein beverages. So the industry has been trying for a long time to put high protein or very clear protein waters on the market that look like an iced tea or that look like a lemonade, right? But with whey protein isolate, it's not possible. It's turbid. It doesn't become clear no matter what you do, right? But with pure beta-lactoglobulin, you get this beautiful clear beverage, right? And so now suddenly all of those brands have an ingredient at their disposal that allows them to get to the product appearance that they wanted while also have a high protein concentration in there. So that's just an example of how these ingredients don't just need to compete on cost, they can compete on functionality and enabling product launches as well.
So Vivici's founding companies have expertise in dairy and industrial scale biomanufacturing. How have you kind of leveraged this to expedite your entry into this market?
Yeah, so in the early days of the journey, we of course leveraged DSM's biotech capabilities and Fonterra's understanding of the application of dairy proteins. And we've taken that forward since with the team. The team is very experienced, comes from a biotech-enabled ingredient background, and we've taken that know-how forward and really accelerated it. So this allowed us to move faster than most of our peers, and going forward the journey is really focused on the customer. So we're really focused on solving the customer's problem, finding the solutions, helping them get the most out of the ingredient.
Can you speak to the unit's economics of making whey or casein proteins via precision fermentation?
Yeah, so precision fermentation really is already 5 decades old and is quite mature as a technology, and of course continues to evolve and get better and better. So we believe that precision fermentation today is already the technology of choice to take both high value, lower volume and higher volume, lower value products to market. And we believe that Vivici and the peers in our industry are today in a position to bring products to market in the more premium end of the segments, but we will see this become mainstream ingredients over the next couple of years. So of course we've been working a lot on the productivity of our process. I think there's a bit of an overemphasis in the industry on titer. That's an easy metric. Really, we need to look at productivity of the entire process, right? Both upstream and downstream of the process. What's the length of the process? Those things really matter. And clearly we can see that multiple companies are now at a very competitive cost point that allow them to enter the market and enter some of the broader segments already. We will only see that improve over time. So we will see all of these precision fermented proteins really become mainstream ingredients over the next couple of years. And many of our peers in the industry have already said it in the media, but price parity is really around the corner.
So will the market support a price premium for whey and other dairy proteins from fermentation, until we get to a position of price parity?
The reality is that we are already seeing the market today supporting a price premium for ingredients like this, and in the future we will see cost improvements that will make this a mainstream ingredient. in this industry, we ought to be looking for value, right?
Yes.
I don't even know if it is desirable that we all chase price parity.
Yes.
Shouldn't we be looking for really where's the value, where's the premium value proposition that we can enable with these ingredients, and look for value rather than lower cost.
So we're often told, there's a capacity problem in the industry. What's your take on that?
Our take is that there's plenty of capacity at this point in time and plenty of suitable capacity at this point in time as well. We don't see a problem in accessing that. In the long term, we will have to, of course, build more as the industry grows. We talked about these ingredients becoming mainstream ingredients. Yes. So for the long run, we will definitely have to add on capacity. But for the short term, we feel that plenty of high quality capacity and plenty of high quality facilities are around that companies like ourselves are able to work with.
So how do you talk to consumers about whey from fermentation?
That's an excellent question. So we have to get that part right. I think we often get the question, what is the most challenging in this journey of bringing a precision fermentation derived whey protein to market? And people assume that it's somewhere in the supply chain, like finding capacity, getting the productivity right. Whereas I feel we've nailed that supply chain part now. And really the next frontier is how do we build fantastic consumer stories around the products and take that to market? And of course, communicating about the ingredient is part of that, right? And we've seen that various companies look for ways of phrasing front of pack or back of pack claims, and we feel that whey protein from fermentation is a really good descriptor that you could use front of pack and back of pack. Yes, so it's something that people are already familiar with. What do you think about the phrase animal-free dairy? Does that work for you, or do you think that presents challenges for consumers? As we mentioned previously, if we narrow it down to only the animal-free component, we're really pigeonholing ourselves here in the, this is all about getting rid of the animals, right? Whereas we talked about nutrition, we talked about functionality, we talked about cost, we talked about sustainability. All of these things matter greatly. So I think animal-free is perhaps a less ideal descriptor going forward. So how are you going to market with this product? So we are focused on the active nutrition part of the health and wellness market, where people are looking for high quality protein and build a premium value proposition around it. We will focus on being a B2B ingredient company, and this year our focus will be on the United States. We have self-affirmed GRAS as of about a month ago, and we will of course pursue other markets like Europe, like Singapore. For this year our focus is on the US and working with food and beverage companies that are looking to bring premium brands to the market.